5 of the top Republican candidates for governor were supposed to debate today in Louisville.
But only 4 showed up. Sean Bowdy breaks down the conversation between them.
Mike Harmon, Kelly Craft, Ryan Quarles, Alan Keck. Noticeably missing from the stage Friday, Attorney General Daniel Cameron, who originally planned on attending but says a schedule conflict made it impossible. At one point, each candidate was asked to say one thing they hope to accomplish once in office.
I think it's so important that right now that we have a conversation about supporting our men and women in law enforcement.
Ag Commissioner Ryan Quarles says that would hopefully include higher pay for law enforcement. Former UN Ambassador Kelly Craft says she has a plan for the education system.
Removing the wokeism out of our schools. You know, on my first day on the job, I'm going to be dismantling the Department of Education.
The governor doesn't have direct control over the Department of Education, but could in theory influence changes. Kraft is also against critical race theory, or CRT. No school system says they're teaching CRT, but many Republicans are insistent that it is taught. All candidates Friday agree they want to keep it out of the classroom, but former Somerset Mayor Alan Keck says Republicans need to take a different approach.
If as a party we consistently demonize public education, then we're going to struggle to win a general election. We saw what happened in the last race.
Keck is referring to Matt Bevin's loss to Andy Beshear, which many believe was due to his feud with teachers over their retirement funds. State Auditor Mike Harmon says his history proves he can beat anyone.
I'm the only one on this stage that's actually beat an extremely high-profile Democrat. I beat Adam Elam.
For most topics, all 4 agree. They don't want gun reform nor drag shows near children. They all want to attack a mental health crisis they believe is causing an uptick in violent crime. And they all want to tackle the opioid epidemic. Whoever does win will likely face Beshear in the general election.
During the Kentucky Sports Radio gubernatorial debate this morning, there was one chair that was empty. The chair was reserved for Attorney General Daniel Cameron. Earlier this month on KSR, host Matt Jones said each of the candidates who were expected to be a part of today's debate personally said they would attend the first time he called them. Each of the invited candidates did participate today except for Cameron, who was in Eastern Kentucky. Cameron made his first stop this morning in Manchester for a meet and greet event. While there, we asked Cameron why he chose to skip the debate.
In my judgment, there's no better place for me to be than in these communities that have been impacted, that they know that they have somebody on day one is going to represent them well and strongly. I've done already 2 debates. I'm going to do more. Today was important for me to be in Eastern Kentucky to have a conversation about what we can do to continue to fight back against fentanyl.
When asked if he would attend a Gray Television debate on May 8th, which would be streamed on all of the Kentucky-owned Gray television stations, including WYMT, Cameron said he could not confirm if he would be there.
Well, the Attorney General made a second stop today in Leslie County.
I was with him during both of his stops, learning more about his plans if elected governor and his fight against fentanyl. GOP gubernatorial candidate Daniel Cameron made his first stop on Wednesday at the Axis Coffee Shop in Clay County for a meet and greet. He says he wants to restore conservative values to the governor's office and the Kentucky Department of Education.
We've had a governor who does not understand our values, and he has appointed an education commissioner that does not understand our values. If you have an education commissioner who says that if you are a teacher and you express any concern about gender ideology curriculum, that you need to find a different job, that shouldn't be the answer. The answer should be that Jason Glass needs to find another job.
Following the meet and greet, Cameron stopped in Leslie County for his 7th forum on the fentanyl problem.
Our goal is to meet with Kentuckians across the Commonwealth to hear how you have been impacted by not only opioids, but fentanyl specifically. Every day we lose more and more Kentuckians and Americans to opioids like fentanyl, and still more meaningful action must be taken.
Sitting alongside Cameron at the forum were others advocating for solutions to ending the opioid crisis, including former addict Mike St. John.
One word in your sentence could change somebody's life. There's so many people in this room that is full of hope, man. I don't haul dope today. I haul hope. I'm free, I'm responsible, I'm a father, man. I broke the chains. Listen, my children don't gotta see what I saw. Don't gotta do what I did.
The primary election is now less than 1 month away on May 16th. Whoever wins the Republican primary will likely face Governor Andy Beshear in the fall. In a new Morning Consult poll, Governor Beshear has a 63% approval rating, the highest rating for a Democratic governor in the country.
Sunshine today, but we're also going to reintroduce some breezy conditions as we head into the second half of the work week, and that's going to up the potential for wildfires. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit. Here's the view from our Buffalo Mountain camera in southern Perry County this evening. 81 beautiful degrees. It's a beautiful shot there with plenty of sunshine at the moment, and that sunshine is boosting those temperatures into the upper 70s and low 80s all throughout the region. We will continue to see mild air through the night tonight. Your forecast first, the next 12 hours, we stay in the 70s even as the sun sets tonight, slowly falling into the 60s and eventually the 50s by the time we wake up in the morning. We've got more warm weather on the way, but we've also got some showers sneaking back in. I'll have the latest on that in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. Crews say a wildfire burning at a popular eastern Kentucky state park is still not contained. U.S. Forest Service officials say the fire at Natural Bridge State Park in Powell County has even rapidly intensified in the past 24 hours. The fire has been burning since last Thursday and has grown to about 60 acres. Dozens of fire crews from the Division of Forestry and U.S. Forest Service have responded. So far, there's no reports of any injuries.
A fire in Pike County Monday tore through several buildings and spread into the hills, destroying a lifetime of memories. Tina Ratliff grew up in the Virgie community surrounded by family and friends until a fire that started in her back building spread to her home, garage, and surrounding structures this week. She says the community immediately stepped up to help, from the local fire departments fighting the flames to the neighbors who want to get their family back on their feet.
It's amazing all the people that's donating stuff, and people's wanting to donate stuff, and I don't even have places to put the stuff. And maybe they'll hang on to it for me till I can get a place to put it, because we don't have nothing.
WYMT's Buddy Forbes will have more about this story tonight at 11.
A Georgia man is recovering after falling more than 80 feet off a cliff a few weeks ago in Wolfe County. Search and rescuers were able to get him out and safely transported to a hospital. Gunnar Garrison was staying with some friends in the Red River Gorge when he found himself gravely injured and in desperate need of help. Volunteers with Wolfe County Search and Rescue answered that call and got to work rappelling down to him. Drew Stevens has been with Search and Rescue for 11 years and says they are now averaging about 1.5 to 2 rescues per week.
We have a lot of cliffs here in the Red River Gorge. We have thousands of miles of cliff line. And so that's always a hazard to be aware of, and that's always a hazard to make sure you're behaving well around those cliff lines to stay safe.
Gunnar spent several weeks in a Lexington hospital with a spinal cord injury and has since been transferred to another facility in Georgia where he lives.
Folks in Perry County now have another option when it comes to speech and physical therapy.
WYMT's Keaton Hall was at the ribbon cutting for Mountain Therapy.
After being delayed due to last July's flood, Sam Sparkman and Jonathan Sizemore have officially opened their new office in Hazard.
We moved over here at the end of July, and then the flood happened, so that put us back a little bit. But then we actually have pretty good caseloads now. We're staying busy and getting good referrals. We have great providers supporting the community.
Mountain Therapy is locally owned and operated. Sparkman is from Knott County and Sizemore from Pikeville.
Being from Knott County, when you needed things, you came to Hazard. So born and raised here, I just wanted to give back to the community. When I was younger, I had a great deal of physical therapy and been blessed with it, so I figured, no better place than home to help serve.
The new office offering both physical and speech therapies.
We offer physical and speech therapy. I'm the speech therapist. Most of my caseload is pediatrics, kids with autism or developmental delays, but I do see adults as well.
Something Sizemore says the area is in need of.
And I've worked in the area for the past 6 years, and there are not a lot of speech therapists in the community, and there's definitely a need for kids to get services. So I figured we'll start up in our own community, and that way we can serve the community where we live and the community we love.
Staying local so their caseload can as well. In Hazard, Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News.
Mountain Therapy is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m.